Hey guys, what is going on? thezigswagoon here, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of a talk right now. There's been a few controversial issues, mainly that's going around on Twitter, and more or less, I'm going to be talking to you about them today. And I'm going to be stating my opinion and my perspective on the issue. That means if you disagree with everything I'm saying right now, that's okay. That's your opinion, and you are allowed to your opinion, and I respect your opinion, no matter what it is, because that is your opinion, not mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys for the same respect that I'm asking from you. Anyways, on to the topic at hand. Number one topic is there's a huge controversial issue in the PokeTubing community, and I'm going to be quite frank with it. In the PokeTubing community, I've heard either a lot of hate or a lot of love on what's going on in here, if you know what I mean. And most of this talk is going to be Twitter relevant. If you don't follow any of the bigger YouTubers on Twitter, you don't follow me on Twitter, you don't follow really anyone on Twitter, you might not get what I'm saying right now, because, you know, this is something else. Anyways, like on Twitter, for instance, one person says something. It could be opinionated. It could be relevant to facts, let's say. And then the person that's following them's like, oh, I can relate to that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start subtweeting about it. And I'm going to start fucking just destroying the other person. Or I'm just going to start going on this topic. And what happens here is one hell of a chain reaction to the point where the entire community is destroying on that topic or that person or whatever is going on. And it is, I would say that is probably one of the worst issues that we have in this community. And it causes a lot of problems, to be honest. There's a lot of people, some people even lose friendships because of that. And that's the worst. That is the absolute worst, and I hate it when that happens. And it's because of something silly as this. One person disagreeing with another person, or one person doing something, and the other person doesn't like it, and then they start talking on about it, and maybe a few things get out of hand. That happens sometimes. But there has to be a time where you need to stop. Okay? It's like you can't keep going on about that one thing. You gotta let it go sometimes. Anyways, at this point in time, you probably have an idea what this is all leading up to. Besides this being our number one problem in this community of course, just like ganging up on each other to create one piece of chaos. It can get pretty chaotic. But another thing I want to touch upon is the term Dittos. Now, I know half of you right now are saying, are you kidding me? We've already seen like 20,000 videos on Dittos. Well, quite frankly, I've seen quite a few of those videos too. And there were some points in there, or rather, might I add, there weren't points that I have, in my opinion, that I've yet to see in any of these videos, and I'm going to be pointing them out today because I feel like I want to get my opinion out there to you guys. Do I expect this to help anyone? No. Honestly, you can't change the internet. You can't easily change someone's opinion, and I'm not trying to change your opinion. If your opinion changes because of this video, by all means, I'm okay with that. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that as well. It's all up to you on what you take from this video. Dittos in general. What are dittos? To the people that don't know what a ditto is more or less someone that will, you know, they'll see, let's say I'm watching someone's video, and it's like, oh, I like the way they got that layout, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into Photoshop or Paint.net or GIMP or whatever you use, and I'm going to create a layout just like his. And, like, if you were to take a look at the two layouts in the end, they're nearly the same. That's a ditto. They dittoed their layouts. There's also another form of dittoing, like taking their GFX style. Let's say one of your markers, let's say in creating your GFX, is putting lines across, color burning it, commonly using the color green, let's just say that for instance, something like that, and then someone comes along and is like, hey, I like that, and then they start implementing that in theirs. Well, that is borderline ditto, but it's still pretty close to being a ditto. It really depends. It really depends. There's a good ditto and there's a bad ditto. A good ditto is someone that can base their ideas off of someone else. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because you know what? It's a base. People need to grow sometimes. And you know what? Not everyone is as good as you are or as creative as you are. And I get that, I worked my ass off to get this done. How dare they copy what I've done? Well, sometimes you just need, some of these people are they're just using it as a base, okay? There's a difference between, completely flat out copying your style and your GFX. And then there's using your GFX as a base. You know what? The base isn't as bad as taking out your whole style, but still. The point I'm trying to make here is they're just taking the base of it, and hopefully they create their own style from it. It's one thing, and then there's another thing, of course. That's just my opinion again, and onwards to the topic of, defenses for this. It's I get it. Listen, the main thing here is don't get upset if someone dittos your work. That's the way I have to see it. And yeah, I know, I'm not a big YouTuber right now. I'm not a big PokeTuber. I'm not a big anything. But what I can say is if I was bigger, and let's say I made this amazing layout. Let's just say that. I made this amazing layout. I was freaking proud of it. And then this one viewer comes by ooh, I like your layout. And they start making videos like that, and, they use that type of, the style that you used on your layout. Well, and then let's say someone on Twitter's like, oh, hey, thezigswagoon, I saw someone using your type of layout. Well, what do you mean? They link the video, I see, oh, they're obviously using my style. Well, here's a few things that you should think instead of, oh my god, they're taking my style, they're trying to get all my views, listen, sometimes it's that, and then there's another thing. I get that you're you love your work, you're proud of what you've done, you've worked hard to do it, but let's face it, this is the internet. People are gonna do things no matter what. You can't stop it. You can't stop people from doing some things. And there are some people that they'll see this, and what they'll do is they'll go on Twitter, and they'll say, this person did this so-and-so. And then what I mentioned in the beginning is that chain response that happens. Everyone goes batshit on that one person, and then maybe someone goes batshit on the term ditto. This has happened quite a few times. A lot. And I've seen some pretty bad results from it. So what I'm trying to say is not to get mad like that. It's okay if you're mad. It's natural to be mad. I mean, they basically stole the style of your GFX that you worked really hard on. But the point I'm trying to make is you can't stop it. You can't stop the person from dittoing you. So why make a big deal of it? Why stress yourself over something that you cannot control? If you cannot control it in the first place, what is this gonna do? What are you going to get? More or less, if you were to go on social media and start saying, dislike this video, or this guy's doing it, what are you actually getting from that? Are you getting some sort of revenge? I don't see that as revenge. I see that as soiling someone's name. And I get that they're dittoing and such, but there's no reason to do that. Listen, I like to see everyone here as have some sort of maturity. A degree of maturity. And just calling someone out like that, I don't really see that as mature as we can be. We got adults, we got kids in this community, and what I would like to see personally, and again, my opinion, if you don't agree with any of the things that I'm saying, please Please. And in the comments below, go ahead, state your opinion. Say if you agree with me or not. I'm okay with that. Because I appreciate your opinion and I appreciate your feedback. Because that's what really makes the world go round. If we were more open about our opinions and more accepting of others' opinions, then there wouldn't be as many fights. There wouldn't be as much of anything like this. So, back on topic, what I'm trying to say here is, if someone is stealing your work, try not to get mad about it. Just try to keep your anger down. Calling them out on Twitter, it's not going to change anything. Yeah, sure, maybe it'll get them dislikes. What is it going to do in the end? There's going to be people, and it's going to, maybe it'll lower your reputation a little bit. Like, you're calling people out. If you're well respected in this community and you start doing things like that, I mean, like, that's not good. That's no good. It could hurt your reputation. It could hurt their maybe upcoming reputation. Maybe you misunderstood them. Maybe they weren't copying your style intentionally. And you go ahead and you call them out on Twitter. And maybe that could have been a potential subscriber. And you just blew that. Because you called them out, you didn't know all of the facts, and even if you do know all the facts, refer to what I said previously. It's the internet, people. You're not gonna stop the internet. Why get mad over something that you just simply can't control? If you can't control it, what are you doing? You're causing stress for yourself. Posting on Twitter, it's not fixing anything. What can you do? Now, many of you may be sitting there like, ooh, what can I do to fix this then? I mean, I don't like him using my style. Well, that is a good question. Talk to him. That's all you have to do. Maybe you could contact him. If you are really that angry or that just offended that he loved your work so much that he wanted to copy it, if you were that offended, by all means, attempt to contact the person. Say, listen, I think that you are dittoing my style, or I think that you are copying off of my style, and I really do not appreciate it. And maybe if you approach him in a calm manner and start saying things like that, maybe he'll say, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you didn't appreciate that, or something like that. I mean, you gotta stay optimistic here. Don't always assume that people are doing this to cause harm to you or just to get views off of everything that you do. Not everyone is out there for that. Especially since, like, you're in a big community, you got a shit ton of people looking up to you. You got a lot of people. Excuse my Skype, I didn't go do not disturb. But in any case, you got a lot of people looking up to you. And, like, you know, just don't ruin that. And I get, like, you're not going to be able to ruin that easily, but, you know, whatever. Whatever. In the end, you'll probably feel better about yourself. And listen, this doesn't apply to big YouTubers. No, let me rephrase that. It doesn't apply as much to big YouTubers or small YouTubers. It applies to everyone the same. And the only reason why I say bigger YouTubers or bigger PokeTubers, because they're more well-known and they're more likely to get hit by a Ditto. That's the only reason why I decided to point them out. So don't think that I'm saying that, oh, this PokeTuber did this PokeTuber did. I'm not. I'm simply saying bigger PokeTubers because they get more views, they have more subscribers, and they are a lot more likely to actually get hit by a Ditto compared to a smaller PokeTuber like me. I'm not as likely to get hit by a Ditto compared to someone else that's above me. Let's say freaking 1 million subscribers or 100,000. I don't care. This is my point. And that's just about Dittos and such. You know, you just can't let that kind of stuff stress you out. Just deal with it in an appropriate manner. And maybe you can fix it. Not only can you fix it, but you can just not get as stressed out. And in the end of the day, it feels a lot better. And not only does it feel a lot better to you, it feels a lot better to the community. Because if you start some sort of shitstorm on Twitter, what's that going to do? It's like you can't stop it, and then people start getting mad at each other. And it's like you were just mad at someone for stealing your stuff. And then you made an entire conundrum about it on Twitter. And of course, that's not intentional. You're not intentionally posting that on Twitter to start a complete shitstorm. like that, but it just happens like that in this community. You need to keep that in mind, that people will tend to just jump in on a conversation. People don't care. They'll just jump in. They'll start subtweeting about people. They'll start talking about the freaking topics. No ats, no nothing. And then people start seeing these tweets and they get pissed off with each other. Don't do that. Anyways, I'd say that's about it for this video. I've had my successful rant. The only reason why I made this video originally is because I've seen many videos on Dittos and such, and I've never seen any of them, like, look at them at a different perspective like this. Like, instead of getting mad about it and such, like, there was no coping ways on doing it, so I decided I wanted to get my ideas, my opinion out there, and to let you guys know what I think. Now, of course, I can't fit this in 140 characters. I can't post this on Twitter, so I felt the best way to do it was indefinitely in a video, and I feel I made progress. I'll probably be doing more little videos like this in the future where I'm just talking about random things that's going on in the community, or maybe something in general, so keep an eye out for those, I guess. Anyways, that is about it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my videos in the comment section down below. As I said previous in this video, state your opinion on Dittos if you want to. You don't have to do that. Maybe you could say, I agree with you, the Zigswagoon, or Vincent, whichever you prefer, or I disagree with you because this, and this. And all I'm asking you is to not hate on anyone else's opinions in the comment section, and, like, you know, just be respectful to people, even if what they're saying you don't agree with. That's it. It's not that hard. Just be respectful. That's basically it. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Peace!